Hello everyone, welcome to today's live Zoo to You. My name is Katie, I'm an educator here at the Stone Zoo, and I am so excited to be joined by some very special friends for today's video. Today's Zoo to You is brought to you by NIFA on behalf of the U Fund College Investing Plan, and you can learn more about the plan by following the link in the caption. So I'm very excited to be introducing all of you to our newest arrival here at Stone Zoo, and that is little baby Sloth. So baby is on mom Lunesta's belly right now, and I'm going to be feeding Lunesta some of her favorite treats. So if you have seen our sloths before, or even watched some of our videos, you might already be familiar with our sloth family here at Stone Zoo. But if not, no worries, I'm going to introduce you to everybody. So Lunesta, mom, is 18 years old, and she came to Stone Zoo from the Biodome in Montreal, and she was paired together with Nero, our adult male who's up top here. Nero is 17 years old, and they were paired together through a special breeding program that we have in zoos called a species survival plan. So they were paired together with the hopes of having offspring in zoos, and their species survival plan has been incredibly successful. This is baby number 6 for them. So every day is Mother's Day for Lunesta here. She is a very seasoned mom, and as you can see, babies are very, very reliant on their mothers. So female sloths will be pregnant and have a gestation period of, on average, around 10 months. And after 10 months, they will give birth to a teeny tiny 1-pound baby. So that's a pretty small baby when you consider how long that gestation period is. Baby sloths are born covered in fur already. Their eyes can open. They even have teeny tiny claws already. Their claws are almost like a pinkish hue. They're still kind of soft. They haven't hardened up to be the really, really hard and strong claws that adults have. And babies will live with their mothers for usually around 12 to 18 months. So during that time, they're going to be quite literally hanging out on their mom. So if you think about being a sloth moving through the rainforest, you also have to carry that baby around. And a lot of visitors will come to the zoo trying to see little baby here. And babies do blend in very well to their mothers. And that is a really important adaptation to have. That camouflage to be able to blend into mom is super important for sloths out in the rainforest. That's going to keep them safe from predators. So predators cannot tell that the females have a small and defenseless little baby on them. So if you are coming to the zoo trying to see the baby, if you see Lunesta moving around, look for a patch of a little bit darker fur on the baby, but baby will always be at this age kind of hanging on to mom. Now you've heard me say baby a lot and not baby's name. This is one of the most frequently asked questions about the sloths is the baby a male or female, and what is the baby's name? So we actually don't know at this time if our baby is male or female. We will most likely need to do a blood test to determine that. It is really hard and difficult for us to be 100% certain by just looking at a sloth to figure out if they are male or female. And our baby also does not have a name yet. So I like to call baby little tiny baby sloth, little baby. So you'll hear me refer to the baby as that. So even though our baby here is just around 2 months old, they have already started eating some solid foods. So at this age, babies will nurse from their mother, but they'll also start exploring some solid foods. So we have learned that our baby does enjoy kale. Not many human babies do, but sloth baby does enjoy some kale. So we'll see if baby is maybe a little hungry. A lot of this is also making sure that mom is well fed. She's using a lot of energy to care for this baby and to also nurse. So she is eating quite a bit of food, but we'll see if baby's hungry. I see some baby wiggles here. So like I mentioned before, this is baby number 6 for Nero and Lunesta. If you've been to either zoo before, you might see sloths hanging around our zoos. We have Maxine, who lives in the tropical forest. Maxine is one of their daughters. We also have Siesta here at Stone Zoo. He lives a few exhibits down. They have been very successful in their breeding. We'll see if baby's hungry. So sloths do spend a good amount of time sleeping, but not quite as much time as a lot of pop culture leads us to believe. They, on average, sleep around 8 to 10 hours a day. So that's surprising to a lot of people. I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to sloths, that they're very lazy, all they do is sleep. And they really are not very sleepy animals. They are, very careful to reserve their energy, and that largely has to do with what they're eating. A lot of sloths' diets are comprised of leafy greens and out in the rainforest. Oh, I think baby's awake. And out in the rainforest, lots of leaves from plants which don't have a lot of calories in them, and it's difficult for animals to digest them. So we can see baby here does enjoy some kale. So they have to eat a lot of food because of that, and they need to spend a lot of time digesting their food. So you might see our sloths here at Stone Zoo just kind of hanging out, digesting. They also like to sun themselves, and sunning themselves is going to help all of that good bacteria in their gut biome wake up and kind of aid in that digestion process. Oh, and I think Nero's coming over here too. We can see, I think, the whole family together. Everybody's awake and hungry this afternoon. So right now I am feeding the sloths a few different things. We have some banana, some apple, and some kale. Most of their diet here at the zoo are going to be leafy greens. They'll also get things like hard-boiled eggs for protein, zucchini, and then we are able to give them other fruits occasionally, like blueberries and grapes, just minding the sugar content in all of those fruits. And they also really like browse. So browse is, any wild plant that grows here in Massachusetts that is safe for animals to eat. So this time of year, forsythia is a really big hit with a lot of our herbivores. It is non-toxic for them. If you've ever seen forsythia or are wondering what it is, it's really beautiful in the early spring. It's one of the first things to bloom. It's a bright yellow bush, and the flowers and leaves are edible, and a lot of our animals really enjoy forsythia, including our sloths. So we talked a little bit about their breeding program, and I just want to talk about why breeding programs are really important, especially for animals like sloths. Two-toed sloths are very difficult to study out in nature. They, as we've learned, have really excellent camouflage. They're living in the really dense rainforest. So it's really hard for researchers to get an accurate estimation of their population size. So we actually don't know how many two-fingered sloths there are out in nature. So having these breeding programs is going to make sure that we have lots of healthy populations here in zoos. There are lots of threats that sloths face out in the wild. One of their biggest threats is going to be road crossings. Sloths do not have the musculatory setup to walk. They can't walk. Instead, they have to drag themselves on the ground. So crossing the road can be very dangerous. They are slow when they're on the ground. So a lot of organizations that help sloths are building things like sloth bridges to help them safely cross the road, so they can make sure to get to different tracks of their their range. And this is very exciting. A baby is kind of venturing off on their own a little bit, which I haven't seen them do yet. So I lost my train of thought watching that. That was really special. So if you want to help sloths, there is a lot that we can do even from, here where we are in Massachusetts or wherever you are watching. Scientists do believe that there might be a link between pesticide use and birth defects in sloths. A lot of tropical fruits are produced in areas where sloths live. So something that you can do, right from the comfort of our homes is when you're purchasing fresh produce, especially bananas, which are commonly grown in areas where sloths live, try opting for organic bananas that aren't going to be sprayed with those pesticides. And we're hoping that that's going to have a really great effect on sloth populations. Well, we are just about out of time, but I want to see if we have any questions about our sloth family.
Absolutely. We had a lot of people just enjoying how adorable they are, but Laura was specifically wondering, how long will baby be attached to mom?
That's a good question, Laura. So typically babies will be on mom for a year. I can say after seeing Lunesta with some of her other offspring, her babies tend to be very clingy. So probably a year to 18 months. At that point, the baby is fully grown, and sloths are solitary, so that baby will be going off on their own at that point. All right, well, I think we are just about out of time. I think Lunesta is going to take a little break to sun herself and, start digesting all of that food. But I want to thank all of you so much for joining us for today's Zoo to You. And for all the moms watching out there, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.